Hey guys, welcome to my book talk. Today I'm excited to share 3 titles from the young adult historical fiction genre. Historical fiction is an amazing genre because it's full of mystery, adventure, but it also has its base in history. It's a great way to awaken your awareness to historical events while connecting through strong characters. In this book talk, I'm going to introduce you to 3 amazing historical fiction novels that take place during World War II. Despite all of these books falling within the same genre, each one is filled with unique characters and settings, but they have similar underlying themes of hope and bravery. For each book, I'll describe the plot a little and introduce you to the main characters, and I'm going to give you a spoiler that's not really a spoiler to help keep things interesting. To start off, our historical fiction book list is Number the Stars by Lois Lowry. Quick side note, I read the ebook version of this on my Kindle, and while I personally love flipping through the pages of a paperback, ebooks are a great resource and very convenient. This book is a Newbery Medal winner. You will find tons of symbolism in stars and even cupcakes with pink frosting, and rich themes of friendship and bravery. Anne-Marie and her best friend Ellen live in Copenhagen during World War II. As Nazi soldiers begin to be more present in their town, the girls must learn how to put on a brave face as they try to keep their life as normal as possible. Then, one night, German soldiers show up at Anne-Marie's door, demanding to know where her neighbors, Ellen's family, have gone. Anne-Marie worries that she doesn't have what it takes to be brave, but throughout the book, we see how her quick thinking and loyalty prove to be invaluable in difficult situations. One thing Anne-Marie never questions is the value of her friendship with Ellen. It's this strong friendship that pushes Anne-Marie to do courageous but scary things throughout the story. And now it's time for that spoiler I promised. And to make sure I don't give too much away, brought in my assistant Margie, and she's gonna bark if I start giving too much away. So, Anne-Marie attends a funeral for someone in her family, but it's not someone that she's gonna miss very much. Is it a Nazi soldier? Is it her grandma she hasn't talked to in a while? Read to find out who. I guess I did okay. Thanks for your help. One of my favorite parts of this book is Anne-Marie's little sister, Christy. She's 5 years old, much younger than the other characters in the story, so she adds a bit of humor and spunk to the narrative. From tattling on her sister to challenging a Nazi soldier, Christy has no filter. She reminds me of my little sister when we were growing up. She's always tagging along and always sharing more than I wanted her to. So, Number the Stars by Lois Lowry gives you a glimpse of how people in Denmark, including their king, united to stand up against the German forces, and how there's bravery in all of us, even if it doesn't always feel that way. Book 2, Salt to the Sea by Ruta Sepetys, is easily one of my favorite historical fiction books of all time. This book is set during the end of World War II as refugees in East Prussia trek towards the Baltic Sea in order to obtain passage to safety by the German Navy. Told from the point of view of 4 different characters: Joanna, a nurse; Amelia, a pregnant teenager; Florian, an art restorer and thief; and Alfred, a Nazi soldier. Readers will enjoy the way these dynamic characters become intertwined, and eventually they must all rely on each other for survival. One amazing thing about this book is that as you slowly get background information from each character, your opinion of the character changes. You find yourself rooting for someone who on paper is not necessarily a good person. The character development of this book is so good. It's time for another spoiler. Come on. For our next spoiler, we're going to tell you that 2 of our characters will fall in love, and not all of our characters will make it to the end of the story, so you'll have to read to find out what happens. One of my favorite parts of this book is the relationship between Joanna and all the other characters. She's like the glue that binds everyone together. She's the peacemaker and the healer who keeps everyone's spirits up while silently fighting her own inner battles. For my Enneagram fans, I'm thinking she's either a 2 or a 9. So read Salt to the Sea by Ruta Sepetys, because through the twisting plot and dynamic characters, you'll learn about an element of World War II that many people have forgotten or weren't even aware of. To wrap up, I want to share Code Talker by Joseph Bruchac. This book is written with simple but straightforward language, but it doesn't lack for excitement or adventure. It's an important story about a group of people who are majorly unappreciated for their service in this war as well as many others. Okay, for your final spoiler. A bad habit of mine is once a book starts getting good, I can't resist peeking at the last line of the story. So while I don't encourage you to do this at home, today for your spoiler, I'm going to read the last line of our story. Let our language keep you strong, and you will never forget what it is to be Navajo. You will never forget what it means to walk in beauty. Walk in beauty. It sounds poetic. What does it really mean to the Navajo people? You'll have to read more to find out. One of my favorite parts of this book is the connection I made with Ned when he first started school. He felt like a stranger and like he couldn't do anything right. I remember my first day of middle school feeling so nervous and out of place. While I can relate to Ned, I also can't imagine how difficult it must have been not being able to speak your native language, not being able to fully express yourself. To varying degrees, I'm sure this is an experience many readers will be able to relate to. Okay, so read Code Talker by Joseph Bruchac, because not only is this story an important part of our history, the multicultural themes of discrimination and determination are timeless and just as significant today as they were during World War II. To wrap things up today, I've shared 3 of my favorite books from the historical fiction genre. While I hope this book talk has piqued your interest, I've only scratched the surface. As you dive further into this dynamic genre, I think you'll agree that historical fiction is as engaging as it is important. So that's all I have, guys. Be sure to check out these 3 books, Number the Stars, Salt to the Sea, and Code Talker.